Welcome back, folks, to World of Warships Legends. I'm Soopa-Dave, and today's build and play guide is on the Dido. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, you guys aren't here for pronunciations. I don't know what people are saying about this ship, but it is fun. It is, in my opinion, kind of like a Tier 5 Brisbane. I am enjoying this thing quite a bit so far. Let's get into the commander. Bruce Fraser with Hagero and Harbin as their inspirations. Now, you're going to notice a theme with my skills, and it is building my fire chance. And if you don't have Harbin or Hagero, you could use Membeli and Kuzganov, maybe help with the range. And we are using Burn It Down XXL, Igniter, Light Fortress. But however, you could use Punch Through. These are tiny destroyer guns, but the AP is much better than I thought it was going to be, actually. And Fixated. Make sure whatever commander you use, you are taking fully packed. You're going to want it. For modifications, we're using Aiming Systems Mod 1 and in the second slot prop mod as always. And for our consumables, you can get defensive AA, wouldn't recommend it. These sonars are pretty handy. Definitely would recommend it. And another thing is you have some really cool little short duration smokes. You have 6 of them. They come back real quick actually. And you can really have a lot of fun with this ship. Also, along with it, main battery reload boosters, and they are 66% reload speed. They are not the 50. So this thing really feels like a Brisbane or a Mino in a lot of ways. I would say Brisbane more because of the, it has HE. But this thing is a lot of fun, man. Specs 29,000 hit points, which honestly, for as tiny as this ship is, and this thing basically being an upsized destroyer, uh, I'm not mad about it. Main guns. These are 360-degree turrets on this. They are 133s. You have 10 of them, and they are in double turrets. You can see reload at 8%, and because of the way we're building this, this has almost 16% fire chance. I am gonna get the right match in this thing and do like 200,000 damage. I swear this thing is gonna be so much fun to play once in a while. I don't play tier 5 a lot, but this is a good one. AP shell damage only 2,500, but it's not as bad as you think. I have 2 matches for you guys. The AP is actually gonna surprise you. First match is gonna be normal match. And then the second match is when you can just go crazy and wild because there's a lot of just cruisers in your match. Like I said, these are 360-degree turrets. Also, let's take off the armor here really quick so you guys can see. Uh, these are super firing in the front. So not only are they 360 degrees, but in the front you can bow in. Would always recommend that, but you can bow in and get all 3 of your front turrets on target. Also, this fourth turret right here behind the smokestack has a very good firing angle. So you can get 4 of your guns on target without giving up too much. And the last one on there has a pretty poor firing angle, but that's okay. You get 4 of your guns on normally. But again, this is a fun little ship. Torpedoes, you have 3 per side, 8 kilometers, 61 torps. They can come in handy. I wouldn't rely on them, but they're not terrible. AA defense, it's not a lot, but it's better than nothing, I guess, right? Maneuverability, 35 knots, really good turning circle and rudder. This thing is, in my opinion, quite agile, and you kind of need it if you're getting into a fight, right? With anything. And I'll show you why here in a second. Concealment 10-3, not too bad on the concealment. Smoke while or firing while in smoke is 4.6. So even though they're tiny destroyer guns, you still have a cruiser penalty on that. Stats, you guys can see I'm having a good time in this ship. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. I'm not saying it's crazy good. This thing is a lot of fun though. Um, it's very interesting to play. It plays so unique at the tier that this was a breath of fresh air for me. I really like this ship. Now, can you get absolutely murdered in it? Yep. Why is that? This is your armor. You are essentially a destroyer with a citadel. Now, you are going to get overpenned a lot. This is a narrow ship. You can get away with a lot more than what you should in this. This isn't. If somebody gets a good shot and they aim at the smokestacks, they will murder you. But because you have 13 millimeter armor, or everything is 13 besides your belt and your citadel, even heavy cruisers overmatch you. So heavy cruisers are what you're really worried about in this thing so far. I haven't had. It seems like the battleships overpen you, for the most part, but heavy cruisers seem to be the problem. Now, one other thing I would like to add. This is your citadel over here, and you can see the belt is 89. So the reason that's important, guys, you get up in, let's see, so anything that has at tier 6 or 5, 15 or 16 inch guns shooting HE can actually citadel this. Okay? That would be where the concern comes from the battleships, is getting HE citadel, believe it or not. Now, AP wise, this is a very small ship, and they're gonna pen you, overpen a lot, and the citadel isn't very big compared to most ships. So it can, it's small, it's narrow. It doesn't look narrow, but put this up to a normal ship, and you will see how tiny that thing really is. Right? It's a glorified cruiser, like, or a glorified destroyer. See, this is Z-44. Z-44, pretty tiny ship. Dido is about the same size. All right, so that kind of tells you how little that citadel actually is. Now our first match is going to be kind of how to traditionally play it, right? Like, this is what you're going to want to do in most of your games that you're going to come across. We're going to go ahead and take some shots here at Hood. You guys can see we're actually getting all our guns on target right now. This is an absolutely fun ship and a very refreshing ship to play. I'll be honest, there's not, at tier 5, when it comes to cruisers, you have some good ones, don't get me wrong, but this thing is pretty unique in the way it plays. It's kind of fun, right? You can kind of bow in with it. It's just crazy. Also, we're going to go ahead and shoot a mono with AP. You can see the really good firing angle of that 4th turret. Like, even angled a little bit. We got a fire on a mono because 16% fire chance. And we're going to show, even at range here, there is going to be a citadel, right? So the AP, pretty solid. And if you think that's just luck, oh, you wait till the next match, guys. You guys are going to see how decent the AP actually is. As we're getting 6 on target, Amano is on fire again. And I think I might be the only one really shooting at Amano because he is not dying too quickly, obviously. But we're going to go ahead and kind of push up here. We got to be careful. This ship, big time recommend, because you don't have a ton of armor. Use iron cover in the smoke, right? In combination, right? We're not getting spotted right now because we got some islands going on and we're not charged in. But I will say this thing actually does much better than a person thinks up close with all these other ships, surprisingly. So we're going to move into position to help the A-cap, because that seems to be going real bad for our team right now. So we're going to try to help. We're going to try to get near the island, but I want to stop here and spot him in our smoke. and then be able to use the island afterward. He does not fire his guns off, but we do in fact get a couple defends and a fire, right? So we tried, right? I was hoping that we would have some spotting somewhere. This would have been a lot better on that front. We're going to take just a couple pop shots at the destroyer, try to get the cap reset. Obviously, these are insanely lobby shells. There's not really a way to snipe a destroyer at this range with this. I will say, being at range, if you play this out at range, you're not going to have fun at this. It just, 13 kilometers in this thing seems like a friggin' mile, okay? You can see even at, what was that, 13 kilometers, that thing was lofting pretty high. And which is kind of handy because you can use the island cover and loft pretty easily. We had come out very shocked to see a battleship here. And if you look on the map, we're actually the farthest one up right now. So, not ideal, right? But you're going to see it does a little bit better than what it should, probably. And we're going to go ahead and probably use... I can't remember if I use my reload booster here once we get into the smoke. I think I was trying to wait for a fire and then use the reload booster. But we're not having much luck with getting a fire, so we're going to use a reload booster now. And I don't know how we didn't get any fires on this guy right here. This is either he was on a permanent damage con for the entirety of his life, or we just got unlucky, because I played this ship enough to know it doesn't take much to get fires with this thing. There is Lagassinaire pushing up. Not ideal for him, especially when he's got a bunch of battleships there to, you know, spot for him. So we're going to go ahead and throw some AP on, and then go ahead and push up here and get bow in and try to limit our damage here, because we got a lot of battleships on the other side of that hill that probably want to try to eliminate me. Although you can be you can get away with a lot in this ship. It surprises me with how, you know, sometimes no armor is best armor, right? And this ship is kind of a good showcase of that. Is we're going to go ahead and try to finish off a Lagassinaire here. And of course someone else does. That's going to be the story of this match. We're going to go ahead, smoke up, and start unloading into Hood. And this is a real good spot here. We're not getting spotted from behind or in front with our smoke. The islands are actually helping us quite a bit too. And we're just going to go ahead and start blasting people. Dunkirk is still back, basically ignoring me because this thing is like a mosquito, but you can put enough shells downrange where this thing is going to hurt you after a while. Although I will say it with Dunkirk here, again, for some reason this Dunkirk was impervious to fires. I don't understand that. On any other ship, I probably would have started probably 5 or 10 fires on them by this time. But we have had the world's worst luck with fires on this one Dunkirk. I don't... Whatever he put in his Wheaties this morning, I want it. But anyway, here we do finally get a fire on Dunkirk. And we do see another battleship pushing up. We're going to try to get to that island so that we can actually use it as cover. And we're trying to be real careful. You can see we were losing quite crazily in this match. I think it was a 8-4 or 8-5 deal, where basically we had half the ships they did, and we are evening it out pretty well here as we get yet another assist. And we're just going to start unloading into Fuso. But you can see pretty lobby shells. Harder to aim at range, but if you do something like this, which I would recommend, as you can see now, we're not in a great spot because we do not have a destroyer even now. We're going to get a fire on Fuso, and then we're going to throw a couple of shells of AP downrange. They all shatter, so we're going to use HE now. and just started a bunch of fires. And you can see, as long as we weren't shooting at Dunkirk, this thing lights up fires pretty easily. Everything we've shot at is basically started on fire right away. You can see we're also trying to get a fire up a little bit farther on the ship, but it is a little bit on the lobby side, right? So it does take a little bit to adjust your aim in this thing. Again, a lot of times I switch ships so much often that I do have a tendency to check auto aim a lot, and it does help. And also, we're gonna throw some torps out just in case he decides to turn towards us a little bit. And we're gonna try to put another fire on him yet. And of course we do, because this thing has a pretty gnarly fire chance with us on it. Also, you can see here, I get spotted. Oh, there is a cruiser here. We're going to get another chance to use our AP because Amano is broadside. Results are going to be exactly the same, but you can see the decent turning, or the firing angles of that back gun. The fourth turret. And we get a Citadel and get a kill. Now, we're actually just going to go ahead and try to fully unload here on Fuso. Now, I don't know what anybody said about this ship, but I highly recommend this ship. It's a lot of fun. I don't know. I think some people might not like it, to be honest. I think it might be one if you're not playing too smart. Yeah, I mean, the biggest weakness of this ship is going to be like a Pensacola. A Pensacola is going to wreck this ship. You know, and so you got to be careful with heavy cruisers. Mayokos, that type of stuff. Like, the heavy cruisers are what's really going to do the most damage to you in the most part. It seems so far when I played it, and I played it, only 9 matches, but enough to... At tier 5, there's a lot of battleships, right? I haven't had a problem with this thing against battleships. It doesn't seem like they overpin, or they just have a tendency to overpin instead of Citadel. And there is a Akatsuki done, and obviously we had played a big part in that for assists, top of leaderboard, helping our team win. In having a solid match. Now, this next match gonna be a lot of fun. This is that trap, right? Now, there is only one ship that overmatches our armor in here, I believe. I think this is all light cruisers in this match. And you guys are gonna see what this thing can do when you don't have to worry about your armor. As you can see, there's Dallas. I'm seeing from the carrier spotting where all the ships are, and we're gonna pull an old Dave move here. We're gonna go. We're basically gonna just charge forward in this match, and act like that we're not in a tiny little ship. We're gonna act like we're in a battleship that's gonna wreck everything. I know. This sounds weird, but when you don't have to worry about overmatch, you can play it a little bit differently, right? And like, if you get a match like this where you run across a lot of light cruisers, you can play much more aggressively, especially with this ship having 3 turrets at super fire. We're going to switch over to AP. This was actually my first match, believe it or not, in here. You're going to notice very quickly that I didn't even know, I didn't think to use the reload booster at first, and that's gonna come, that kind of sucks, right? Because right here, the reload booster would have been really nice. We would have been able to just take him out pretty quickly. As you can see, a couple citadels, and he's angled to us, right? So you're not gonna see it till right here. I realize, oh, this thing's got a torpedo booster, or a reload or a main battery reload booster. Sorry, and there we go. We go and kill him. All right, so we're done with him. Now we're gonna go back behind this island because I know the other ship was a cruiser that we don't necessarily have to worry about. So we've wasted at least our reload booster for our main guns. But we're going to try to make up for it for rounding this corner and being brave, right? You can see this is a Dallas. He's a very close up. Not where you want to be, particularly in a Dallas. But we're going to try to be smart here, come around the corner angle just in case he has AP loaded. We're going to go ahead, try to take a shot of AP. But you're going to see he's kind of paying attention. He's going to get it to a position where we really aren't going to be able to. He's going to angle, and obviously we're not going to be able to go through that. But and switch to HE. If you guys have this ship, oops, sorry. If you guys have this ship, please let me know what you guys think of it. I was real surprised, as you can see our nice little firing angle on that last turret again. And we're just going to put this guy on fire. And actually, he's out of our smoke firing penalty, and we got a buddy spotting. So now he's not even going to be able to see us at 5 kilometers as we shoot him. This thing is fun. This thing is real fun. We're actually going to go ahead and try to capture his base. That's the main reason for smoking up. I didn't want it to keep on resetting. But you can see we're doing a pretty big chunk on Dallas. And he is not long for this world, actually, as you can see. We do get him as well. Now, we're going to go ahead and move up. We know that there's a carrier in this match. And this match is real close, and it stays close while we're in it. And so we know this cap is really important to get. And that's kind of why I made the push that I did, knowing that there was only 2 cruisers over here. I could really make a difference, get control 2 caps. And now the Ark Royal gets spotted. Now, this is one mistake I made. It was my first match, and with how lobby these shells were, I thought the AP was honestly just going to shatter, right? I didn't think I was going to get the angles for it. I should have stayed with AP here. Probably could have got a bunch of Citadels. As you can see, we did switch over to HE, but we were getting full pins on it. That's okay. We're going to go ahead and use our HE, and our Gorky is over here shooting with us, getting some damage as well, as we get 8 shells to hit there. Pretty gnarly. And you would think right here, the one time I need a bunch of shell or a bunch of damage, we're not going to get it. Gorky's going to get the kill. And we're just pushing in. That's all we're doing at this point. Again, I have the armor to actually bounce shells in this match, not most. And we're going to push in, and then you guys are going to see here. We're going to have some fun with these cruisers here. At Tier 5, though, you can kind of get away with a lot of stuff, as you can kind of see so far in this match. I can't believe Königsberg, like in the beginning, didn't try to torp me, but you'll have that sometimes. Now, we're going to go ahead and load HE up, try to burn down Gus in air. He decided not to stay broadside to us, so we are going to push in. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this, but I'm going to be glad I did, and the reason is we're going to try to change the outcome of this match here. It's a close match, and they have 2 destroyers, right? I want to at least get rid of 2 ships here. And I was actually hoping to get rid of some destroyers. Nuremberg is there. We are sonared by Gus in there. And this is a perfect showcase of the reload booster. We're going to out DPM a French cruiser, which is pretty gnarly in my opinion. I figured he was going to go broadside to get torps off. He didn't have to go that broadside. And you're going to see I eat a torp like an idiot there. I probably didn't need to. I thought I could shoot the gap, and I couldn't. We do get rid of Gus in there. And we're trying to push up here and get this cap, really. Make it a points difference, so possibly, if we need to, our Gorky seems like he's been a decent player, so he would understand probably that, hey, you got all the points in the world, just run. but we're hoping that it doesn't come down to that. We are really trying to kill Nuremberg here. You can see at 13 kilometers, Nuremberg is quite hard to hit. We hit one of our, I don't know, 13,000 shells we hit downrange, thrown downrange. We're actually going to move up here a little bit here now that we're getting the cap. There is another cruiser, but we don't know where he is until right now. Now he shoots, and our prop mod saves us, because we probably would have been dead there. We're going to load AP up for a second, in case he decides to come back out, because he's flat broadside. And in the meantime, we're going to try to pop Nuremberg here. And try to finish off Nuremberg. He goes down. We're going to switch over to AP. Throw some torps out, because we don't have a lot of health, right? And we're going to go ahead, and this is AP. Again, we're using it. 3 citadels there on Emerald. We're going to go ahead and take another shot. He's dead. And that one shell that hits us actually nails us and finishes off us, sadly. But obviously, 4 kills. We got 2 caps. I was actually surprised this wasn't a higher damage game. Or a higher XP game, because we did a lot of damage to, at least 5 people in that match, and got 2 caps, one of them being a solo cap. I actually thought we might have had a 3K base game here. We don't. We end up top of the leaderboard, though, with a 2,500 base game. Solid at tier 5, nonetheless. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you folks next time. Have a good one, folks.